Virginia Swanson's quest, Spirit Punk Sutani, PA reporter Ramona, CA, reported on December 25, 1979, by P. Gatilla. In the picturesque hills of Winola, among the rock outcroppings of the Borrego Desert and the remote backcountry, evidence of a mysterious creature, Bigfoot, has been reported for years. While many consider Bigfoot a legend, Virginia Louise Swanson and other residents who've encountered the massive hairy beast believe it is very real. Virginia, a spry 79-year-old resident of Julian, has dedicated more than 4 years to researching Bigfoot and documenting sightings in the area. Her fascination began in 1953 during a mining expedition in Big Sur. One night, while camping in the rugged hills, Virginia awoke to a foul smell that she described as being like a slaughterhouse on a hot day. Then she heard heavy footsteps and strange grunting noises. When something lifted her cot into the air, she grabbed a saw and swung wildly, scaring the creature away. For years, Virginia attributed the experience to wild pigs, but after hearing others' encounters with Bigfoot, she became convinced it was the elusive creature itself. In her book, Night Side of Gold, she details her mining experiences and theories on Bigfoot, which she continues to investigate. Virginia believes that Bigfoot exists in a parallel world, appearing under specific conditions, much like lightning or rainbows. This theory is shared by Dr. J. Allen Hynek, a noted expert on phenomena like Bigfoot and UFOs. Local residents have also reported sightings and strange occurrences. In Dead Man's Hole in 1888, a 400-pound half-human, half-beast was reportedly killed by hunters. More recently, a prospector in the Anza Borrego Desert had rocks thrown at him by a hairy creature, and a group of hikers found large footprints leading into a cluster of oak trees in the Cuyamacas. While many prefer to remain anonymous, some, like John Lutman of Alpine, openly share their experiences. He found massive footprints in the Anza Borrego Desert that were about 19 inches long and 5 inches wide. He recalled, "I'm 6'4" and weigh about 250 pounds, and when I jumped off the rock, I only sank about half an inch. Whatever it was awfully heavy." Virginia continues to explore Bigfoot's presence in the Julian area and remains committed to sharing her findings with a broader audience. "I'm not a scientist," she says, "but scoffing has never stopped me from exploring the unknown." She remains determined to uncover the truth about Bigfoot. Strange tracks on Mount St. Helens. Evidence of Bigfoot? Unknown source, date not provided. Bill Nagel and his brother-in-law Russell Harvey were elk hunting near the Toutle River on Mount St. Helens when they stumbled upon something unexpected: strange tracks in the snow. The tracks, which were found at around 1 p.m. on a Saturday, had no shoes, only 2 toes, and a stride of 6 feet. The footprint measured about 12 inches long and 7 inches wide. Nagel, initially a skeptic, said, "I've always laughed about it and made jokes about it, but this kind of made me think. It convinced me there has got to be something walking around up there." Though many are quick to dismiss these sightings as hoaxes or mistakes, Nagel is now convinced that the mysterious tracks he saw were real evidence of the legendary creature known as Bigfoot.
So you don't believe in Bigfoot? Try telling that to John and Rusty Esposito. John and Rusty Esposito, from Wheaton, Illinois, were back in the Dalles on Friday with members of the Bigfoot Research Project from Parkdale. They returned to the spot where they believe they encountered the legendary creature last year. John recounted how he and his wife were visiting friends in the area in January of the previous year. They were on their way back to Chicago by train when, just outside the Dalles at around 3:15 p.m. on January 12th, the train came to an unexpected stop. Looking out the window, John noticed a rabbit darting across the snowy landscape. "Look, a rabbit," John nudged his wife Rusty, pointing out the window. As the rabbit disappeared over a bluff, the couple's attention was drawn to a large hulking figure crouched near a tree. Rusty was quick to clarify. This wasn't a bear. This was definitely Bigfoot. The creature squatted down several times, seemingly watching the train. It squatted down about 3 times, Rusty said. It appeared to be watching the train. They watched the figure for about 8 minutes, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. John, a dentist with a keen eye for detail, estimated the distance. "I play golf, so I know how to measure distance. It was about 25 yards from our car, he said. Intrigued by their story, Peter C. Byrne, the director of the Bigfoot Research Project, accompanied the Espositos to the spot they described, located off France Taylor Road near the Pinewood Mobile Manor. The group hiked down a hill, crossed the railroad tracks, and made their way to the area. Byrne noted that the Espositos' account was consistent with other, credible sightings his team had investigated. They made sketches of what they saw, Byrne explained. They drew a creature with no neck. That matches other descriptions we've heard. Byrne's fascination with mysterious creatures began in the 1950s while searching for the abominable snowman in the Himalayas. He founded the Bigfoot Research Project in August 1992, funded by a grant from the Boston-based Academy of Applied Science. The team investigates about 50 reported Bigfoot sightings each year. The Espositos' sighting was one of 6 that were deemed credible in 1993. We see very few cases of fakery, Byrne noted. Most of the people misinterpret what they see. Our experience helps us filter out the phonies. For instance, Byrne recalled a case where a man reported finding a Bigfoot footprint. However, upon investigation, it was revealed to be nothing more than a skid mark made by a large dog. The idea of a Bigfoot living near the Dalles isn't far-fetched, according to Byrne. He described such a creature as shy, nomadic, and nocturnal. If you want to speculate that Bigfoot travels near water and crosses the river at the most narrow point, this area makes sense, he said. Byrne also mentioned past sightings in the area. In 1971, 5 people from the Dalles reported seeing Bigfoot on 3 separate occasions above the Pinewood area. We found the witnesses to be very credible, he said. Byrne dismisses skeptics who argue that Bigfoot is nothing more than a myth. This isn't just some man in a suit who has been dressing up to fool people, he stated. If so, he's been doing it for 200 years. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, Byrne is optimistic about future discoveries. He believes that modern technology will be key in finally understanding Bigfoot's existence and behavior. The answer isn't going to be found by walking through the woods, Byrne said. The answer will come from technology that will help us analyze their patterns of behavior. Even if science has yet to capture a living Bigfoot, John and Rusty Esposito are already convinced. I believe people who lie about this spoil it for those who are truly looking for it, Rusty said. I've never seen anything like this before. This wasn't a bear. This was definitely Bigfoot. A construction crew working in the Sierra Nevada had a frightening encounter when they heard 5 chilling screams at dusk from a towering, 8-foot-tall figure between 2 pine trees. The 5-man team was so shaken by the experience that they decided to keep their guns close at hand. While not all the crew members are convinced they saw Bigfoot, the legendary creature of the Pacific Northwest, these seasoned mountain men are certain it wasn't a bear or mountain lion, despite the explanations provided by federal forestry officials. The crew was building a footbridge at a remote site high in the southern Sierra when they had their terrifying encounter earlier this week. They reported seeing a huge, human-like figure that emitted bone-chilling screams. The strange incident occurred at dusk on Monday near the Pacific Crest Trail on the South Fork of the Kern River in the Golden Trout Wilderness of the Inyo National Forest. The men were constructing a foot-horse bridge over the South Fork at an elevation of 8,000 feet near Monarch Mountain, about 25 miles south of Mount Whitney, and were camping at the site. Clay Paulson, 38, the crew boss from Fresno, described the first scream as being so loud it sounded like a stadium loudspeaker. After hearing the scream 3 more times, Paulson was so unnerved that he hastily loaded a high-powered rifle and fired a warning shot into the air. Paulson, along with Russell Pozzovi, Leonard Williams, and Kevin Dudley, said that in the fading light, about a city block away, they saw the shadowy outline of a human-like creature at least 8 feet tall. The creature was on a small hill in a 50-foot clearing between 2 stands of trees. It was like a silhouette, a shadow, Paulson explained. After the warning shot, the creature moved over the top of the hill and disappeared, and no more screams were heard. Pozzovier, 33, described the creature as lumbering and kind of hunched over, but noted that it moved upright on 2 legs. John Davis, 60, the fifth member of the crew from Clovis, didn't see the creature but heard its screams. Davis, a Mono Indian with over 4 decades of experience working in the mountains as a logger and construction worker, insisted the scream was different than a mountain lion. I'd know a mountain lion. Pozovi and Williams, who also have considerable experience in the mountains, agreed that the noise was unlike anything they had ever heard before. This was no bear or mountain lion, Paulson said. The experience left the crew so rattled that they were unable to sleep. Instead, they walked 2 miles to the end of a 4-wheel drive road and then drove to the Black Rock Ranger Station, where they spent the night. At the station, rangers told them that a mountain lion might scream after making a kill, and a startled bear could have reared up on its hind legs. Both bears and pumas are common in the area. The rangers also mentioned that there had been no reported Bigfoot sightings in the region. When the crew returned to the site the next day, they examined the hard granite soil in the clearing and found some 20-inch depressions spaced about 5 feet apart, which could have been footprints. However, the rangers accompanying them said the marks were too vague in the hard ground to make a determination. The crew pointed out that no bear or puma tracks were found in the area either. After taking a few days off, the crew planned to return to finish the bridge job. But one crew member mentioned he would keep a pistol nearby while sleeping at the campsite. The crew noted that the rangers, while denying Bigfoot's existence, did warn them that shooting one could lead to prosecution for killing what would be considered an endangered species. Paulson returned to the site on Thursday and met a hiker who claimed to have seen footprints with a pronounced big left toe. Bigfoot sightings in the Pacific Northwest are not uncommon. In fact, Skamania County officials in southern Washington have even made it a misdemeanor to kill one of the creatures. A Bigfoot hunter with a nighttime sniper scope was arrested outside Eureka in 1984. Grover Krantz, a Washington State University archaeologist and Bigfoot researcher, expressed skepticism about any sightings south of Lake Tahoe. However, he did note that the crew's description of the screams was consistent with previous reports. It is an extraordinarily loud scream, louder than any living thing on Earth, Krantz said of the Bigfoot howl. Roger Lajeunesse, a physical anthropologist at Fresno State University and an experienced mountaineer, said he was unaware of any reported sightings south of Lake Tahoe. He suggested that the poor light conditions and the crew's fatigue after a hard day's work could have caused them to mistake a bear for the creature. Krantz also referenced distinct footprints found after a U.S. Forest Service worker reported seeing a hairy, 8-foot creature near the Oregon border in 1982, stating that the detailed skin ridges in the footprints would be almost impossible to fake. Russian scientists have also said they are convinced of an ape-like creature known as the Yeti in remote areas of the Himalayas, Krantz added.
Bulletin Staff Writer, March 26, 1987. By Kim Opatka, Derry Township. Bigfoot is back, or so claims a local man who says he encountered a Bigfoot-like creature twice recently near the village of Gray Station. The first encounter occurred on December 13th, when, walking along the railroad tracks, a large object, possibly a railroad tie, was thrown at him. Looking up, he saw a creature that stood 8 or 9 feet tall, with wide shoulders, long arms, and a head covered in long hair. The man, who wishes to remain anonymous, described a standoff with the creature before it turned and disappeared into the woods. It had wide shoulders and was bigger than anything I've ever seen, he said. I've never seen anything like it. The man has heard other reports of sightings around the area, including in Brenizer, where locals have reported strange noises and animal behavior. Stan Gordon, from the Pennsylvania Association for the Study of the Unexplained, suggests these reactions might indicate a creature's presence. There have been no other confirmed sightings, but strange noises have been reported in the night, and some residents have had pets go missing under mysterious circumstances. Books on Bigfoot note that the creature often displays a particular dislike for dogs, which may explain some of the disappearances. While some, like Dr. Cynthia Walter, a biology professor at St. Vincent College, are skeptical of Bigfoot's existence, others like Jack Sickenberger of the Pennsylvania Game Commission keep an open mind. Anything's possible, Sickenberger said, but until there's proof, I'm skeptical. Gordon and his team plan to investigate further, noting that Bigfoot sightings often occur near mobile homes, microwave towers, and railroad tracks, which some believe attract the creature due to electromagnetic energy. Despite the skepticism, the man who saw Bigfoot remains firm in his belief. Let others experience it, and then let them be the judge, he concludes. This video is created for entertainment purposes only and is based on the accounts and stories shared by witnesses from old news clippings. It is not intended to prove or disprove the existence of Bigfoot. That decision is up to you. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. We value your input and look forward to hearing your perspective.